Are women better off in a world without men? This is a critical decision time for society, to turn attention to taking care of boys and men. Some geneticists believe that the male chromosome is shrinking in size. That the male chromosome will vanish within the next 4.6 million years. Granted, you might say, well, by the time that happens, I would have been pushing daisies for millions of years. But bear in mind that, before this actually happens, if it does happen, there will be many years of population attrition. Meaning that there will be no new births of babies. Or in a less severe scenario, there will be very few new babies being born into our population for many years, like they have in Japan. And then, bam! The men are gone. There are several peer-reviewed studies on this subject. But the community of experts in human genetics are divided on the issue. Personally, I do not believe this arcane geneticist. I truly cannot see humanity with only female humans. I just can't see it. But the statistics of what is happening to boys and men right now is not a lie told by scientists. For example, it is true that young girls are more likely to suffer mental health problems than boys. But the outcome for boys are more severe. The rate of suicide among boys and men is 4 times more than the rate among girls and women. In terms of intimate relationships, up to 63% of men in the US, between the ages of 18 and 29 report that they are single, compared to 34% of women in the same age category. Most of these single young men also reported that they are not looking for a date. Data from before the COVID pandemic showed that 28% of young American men reported in a survey that they have not had sex in the last 365 days, compared to only 18% of women in the same age category. People observing this trend believe that the women are either dating older and married men, or that the women are hooking up with each other. They also believe that, because women have stricter criteria for choosing a mate, many of the single and sexless young men are of lower social and financial status. Of course, the availability of free online pornography and virtual reality video games are confounding factors for this trend. But the implication of this situation is that this large portion of our population, of young men, may continue to have difficulty at being good citizens because of the mental health issues associated with the avoidance of intimacy. As you would recall, the end point of mental health issues is worse for boys and men compared to girls and women. Women have evolved to be the fitter sex for survival on our planet. The concept of fitness, proposed by Charles Darwin, is not about being physically strong, but it is about being adaptable to changing environmental scenarios. Throughout the hundreds of thousands of years of repression and inequality that women endured before the women's liberation movement started, women adapted and lived longer than men. Now that the inequality of opportunities between the sexes have been equalized, the women are still adapting better and leaving the men behind. To solve this problem, we must all understand that supporting boys and men, or investing in their vocational and social training to improve opportunities for boys and men to contribute meaningfully to society, does not take away attention from girls and women. We must also realize that investing in research and development for supporting the mental health of boys and men does not equate with a reduction of attention to the issues of girls and women. It is not a zero-sum game. Boys and men need attention now. Let us find the courage to take action.